Hi guys, Angie Bell with My Fairy Treasures. Okay, you guys, we are going to work on making some what are we gonna call it? Cabinet cards. But I want to do distressed vintage cabinet cards. That's what we'll call them. And so now both of these pictures that I did, just as like little samples, I want them to be vintage, like old world, you know, Victorian. But both of these are not like the normal Victorian type of pictures. These to me would be like the entertainers of the time, especially her. Isn't that cool? And then I made it look really aged. I tried to make it look really aged, this cabinet card. Okay. Vintage, Victorian. And then this is more of a entertainer of the time who's more fantasy looking. So, and then I also put, I printed these on my computer. I chose a really nice little fancy font and made the font really small. I think I did like a size 16. I'm not sure the name of the font. And I said Bell's Photo Company. And then over here, Paris, France. And the reason I got that is I saw this when I was looking up cabinet cards. When I Googled cabinet cards, about this size came up, like around a 4x6, and then a 5x7 piece of some type of cardstock or cardboard the picture is attached to. So that's what I did. I did cardstock. This is coffee dye cardstock, and then I printed out these little labels. I did like a whole sheet of them. I'll show you. I did them on cardstock. Okay. Bell's Photo Company. I did it over and over and over. And then I did Paris, France, so that I can cut these out and put them on here. So let me get started. Let me show you some of the pictures. And where I get my pictures is I just Google vintage pictures of 1800s, early 1900s, also public pictures in public domain. If you do that, oh, also you can go to the Graphic Fairy and find black and white photos. Okay, these are the ones we're going to do today. Now this one's a little bit smaller than the 4x6 with the 5x7 like matted cardboard or cardstock piece of cardstock that these are put on. This one's a little bit smaller, okay, because that's just the way the picture came up. So we'll make this backing a little smaller, like I already did. I did a 4x6 backing on this one, so that means this is 3x5. So we'll be doing that with this. Look at this little girl. Isn't she precious? Oh my god, I absolutely love her. Then look at these little precious babies. Aren't they just precious? These are going to make the most beautiful cabinet cards. I'm going to try to do 4 of them with you guys. And then I have these two ladies, which I love. Look at her. I just think she's absolutely beautiful. And then she is just absolutely gorgeous. Aren't they just beautiful? Oh, I love them. Okay, and then I just want to show you some other ones that I've gotten. I collect a lot of these pictures and put them on my computer, so I always have them. Look at this little girl with her dog. Oh, and this is what I want to say. Even though you're going to print out a black and white, choose color, because there's color even in black and white. You'll get that aged look that you're looking for, that little bit of browning and beige you're looking for. So even though it's a black and white, choose color for the printing. Okay. And you'll get a higher quality looking picture too. Look at these two ladies. This is during the war in France, I believe, and they worked the ambulance, and in between working the ambulance, they are knitting. And I knit. I just thought that was the coolest. Okay, that's the second one of that. These ladies, you guys have seen these ladies before. I just love these ladies. Aren't they fabulous? I think she is absolutely beautiful during Victorian times. I think she is beautiful. And you guys have seen this one before during Victorian times. Then this is a repeat of this one. Okay, now here's some more people that I consider like the entertainers of the time. And entertainers in the 1800s weren't considered like the most glamorous. It was kind of considered like I think middle class maybe. It wasn't high class. High class was people who didn't have to work. So you were looked down upon if you were like an entertainer, unlike today, which I think is just weird. So this right here is just, I did this in black and white. It was normally in color. It's this little, I don't know, broken down fairy. And so again, to represent an entertainer of that time. And this, I just think is beautiful. I want to do this one as a cabinet card. I think it's a doll. I just did it in black and white. It was in color. I love her. She's Dodo. And, Dodo or Dido? Her name's Dido, D-I-D-O, and there's a movie about her, and she was raised in a family in the 1800s. Her father's white, her mother's black, and her mother was a slave, I believe. And anyway, and he, I think, freed her of slavery, and then of course and then the mother ended up dying, so he took his daughter, and that's Dido, to his family. He was in the military, and said, raise her. If I die, give her all my money. And she became one of the richest women of her time in England. Really good movie. Look that movie up. So this is a true story, and this is the actress who played her. So I want to do a cabinet card with that. I love these two ladies. This isn't of the time of the 1800s. It's probably the 1920s or something. Or maybe even current times, and they were just dressed up like the 1920s. But I just thought it was cool. So I want to make a cabinet card out of that. Here's another entertainer that I think I want to make a cabinet card out of. You guys have seen this ballerina, which I love. That one I already showed you. And I just love this girl. I just think she's so vintage, beautiful, and she looks so steampunk. I love it. Okay, so I just wanted to show you all these other pictures that I have. So let's get started. I already have her on here, so let's do her first. Okay, I think I've covered everything, where you get the pictures, some history about things. Let's go with her first. Look how adorable she is. I just want to squeeze her. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is prepare. Oh, if measure your picture, whatever size picture it is. Try to print things out to 4x6, but this one was a little bit smaller. Anyway, then do 1 inch wider and 1 inch longer. And then that'll be your, because I guess the pictures used to come out on like a paper, and they needed to be backed with some type of cardstock or cardboard. So that's why they look like the way they do. Okay. First of all, we're going to, this is a distress tool. Tim Holtz makes one, Stampin' Up makes one, and this is the distress tool right here. And we want to distress this, oh, and I'm using coffee dyed cardstock, okay? So coffee dyed some cardstock, or just take some cardstock and use some Tim Holtz distress inks, or just any inks that you have to make it look, you know, old. But I think coffee dyeing it works the best for this. Okay, so we're just distressing it on all ends. If you don't have one of these distressors, just get a knife and just distress it with a knife, like a steak knife. Okay, so we distress that. Also, let's distress the picture. Okay, so now we distressed. Now let's do some inking. So we're going to ink. I'm using Vintage Photo Archival ink. I like to distress I like to ink everything with archival ink rather than the Tim Holtz Distress ink. And the reason is because it takes a little bit to dry and it gets all over my hands. So that's why I like to use it doesn't have to be Distress Archival. It can be any ink. But I like to use one that is that's archival, not archival, but not that's waterproof, because then it dries really quickly. It doesn't get all over my hands. When you distress with the Tim Holtz, It gets all over your hands. But if that's what you got, that's what you got. Just use it. Use whatever ink you have. So now I'm just going around. And inking up this card. Okay. All right. My little pad is starting to break down. I break these pads down so quick. I'm glad I bought a ton of them. Okay. They're on clearance at Hobby Lobby clearance. Thank God I bought a lot because I'm going to need them. Okay. So, do we distress everything and ink everything? Oh, this is the most important part. Okay. So we did this, but we want to make this look even more old. Like, look, the ones I did, look how it looks like time has cracked them and things like that. Isn't that cool? See that? So how I did that, you guys are going to freak out. Take the picture with the face showing and just bend it. I know this looks crazy. Like, oh my God. But this is how we're going to make it look old and vintage. Okay. So then take your pad. I'm using a dark brown. And just, oops, don't do that. Let me just wipe that up a little bit. Okay. Right from the pad, I just kind of go like that. And anywhere there's a fold, I just go over that. And maybe even bend it again. And then I try to avoid the face as much as possible. Well, I did it over her face a little bit right there, but that's fine. You know what? We can do some right here. And kind of unfold it and look and see where you're at. Okay? Like we could do some more like right here on the clothing. And then maybe one more time like this. Let's see where we're at. Oh, that looks good. That looks really good. I say one more fold right here. Look how that ages that. You know something else I want to do? I just haven't tested it. We'll test it right now, you guys, and we'll see how it works. And then hopefully it'll be dry by the time the video's over. I want it to take the Distress Crackle Paste, translucent, and do it over the picture. So let's glue this on, and then we're going to do that crackle paint. We'll do that last. Or crackle paste, because I really like to see that, how that would look. But look how aged this looks already. Fabulous. Oh, two other things. Okay, we need to have bells, and it seemed like the photography company was always on the picture, like at the bottom. So that's why I did these. Remember I talked about printing these out? Bell's Photo Company. So I've been using, just to give that yellow page effect, antique linen, which I love. But I recently purchased the tea-dye, which I think I had this before. I just really used it. This gives that really beautiful look too. So use either antique linen, tea-dye, or whatever you have in your stash. But if you have those two, pull them out. You can also use them together. Like do a little bit of, let's do both. Oh, and then they always usually had the city that they were in. So this is Paris, France. I need to separate these. So let me show you, because it's two of them. Save that for, so there's Paris, France. Okay. All right. So we want to distress both these. I'm going to use antique linen a little bit on them. I'm going to use antique linen all over the whole thing. And this just gives a little bit of that antiquing look. And then I want to take the tea dye, and you can use either one of these by itself too if you want, just to give it a little bit more aging look and something different. Cool. So let me show you what these look like. Pick these up. I get them at Dollar Tree in the makeup section. These makeup brushes. Fabulous for inking. They're great for makeup too, but they're really good for inking. See? And they just give that little bit of aging. And then to further that aging, let's use our dark brown and just go around the edges. I need to trim this one a little bit more. Let me make sure that looks good. Yeah. So then go around and just but this is how important inking is. It really gives a border around whatever you're doing. Plus, on this, it gives the aging that you need. Right? We couldn't have those little white tags the way we had them after everything's all aged out. So, there we go. See? All right, so now I just want to kind of keep everything right here in front of me. Okay, so now I'm gonna take, this is the way I found it the best, is I like to use this Eileen's Tacky because we're dealing with cardstock. This is cardstock and you're printing it on cardstock. So you need a good heavy duty, excuse me, a good heavy duty glue. So I'm going to use, I like to use a magazine as a glue base. Oh, other thing, let me get out baby wipes while I can. One baby wipe, one for my hand. And since we're going to do more than one cabinet card, I'm going to wrap my glue brush after I've used it in a baby wipe. And that way I don't have to keep rinsing the brush out. You can do that too when you're using paint, like acrylic paint. Wrap it up in a little wet paper towel or a wet baby wipe. I'm sure you guys can see me again. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, there we go. And then I'm going to use one of these baby wipes to keep my brush in. Let's remove this. And when I use a magazine as a glue surface, I just turn the page and then you have a fresh surface again. Okay, there we go with that. And then just try to, center this the best you can. Kind of keeping in mind, you want to center it in the middle, so you have some a little bit on the side, some on the bottom. Does it have to be perfect? No. You're trying to create something to look aged and distressed anyway, so you are good to go. Like something that happened, and I'm glad it happened, I'll show you on one of the ones I made. You probably already noticed. From the coffee dyeing the paper, this little piece just broke off. But look how cool that looks. Just that little piece that broke off. Makes it look more aged. So anything that happens, just look at it as a happy little accident. Okay. And then I like to keep one baby wipe for my hands. Okay, now let's also still glue. Oh, I can use, because they're such small pieces. We'll still use my magazine. I'm going to use my Jot glue. You guys, believe it or not, this is a great glue. Jot glue from Dollar Tree. Right now, they have them. This is good as Yoo-hoo. Now, I was talking about this in my haul video because I bought a ton of them, enough for like the year. Right now, they're $8 for $1 while there's back to school. But when you use this, or I use any glue stick, I usually go over each section 3 times. You got to put enough on there. And I find that with any glue stick. If you just go over it once or twice, it may not be enough glue. So put enough glue. In each section that you put the glue, put it on 3 times or more. Okay, so I'm putting the Belle's Photo Company right there, and then Paris, France, I'm putting over in this corner. And you can do this however you want to do it. You can name your photo company whatever you want. You can place these however you want. I could have placed these basically all together. Do what you want. Okay. My Alexa just said AirTag has arrived. What the heck is AirTag? I don't know. Anyway. All right, let's turn this page. Now, the last thing I'm going to do, now this is an experiment that I have not done before yet, which is I want to use this crackle paste. Let me put this on for my glue. I want to put this crackle paste, and then hopefully this dries by the time we're done, because I don't think you have, with this Tim Holtz Distress Crackle paste, it's clear. You don't have to have, like, you know how you used to have to like layer acrylic paint down first, one color, then another color, and then put this on top. You don't have to do all that. This just crackles. So I'm interested to see how this will crackle on here, because the picture being all crackled would even add to the aging and make it look really cool. I'm just looking for a paintbrush for the or something. Okay, we'll use this. We'll use this. And then I don't know, if it's not cracking or dry by the time we're done doing all this, I will get my heat gun out, and hopefully that'll help it. Sometimes adding the heat gun makes things crack better. Sometimes it actually makes it slow down or not. We'll just, this is an experiment, this crackle part. All right, let me put, oh, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going to do it now. Let me put this, I'm going to put this, brush in some water here. Okay, so we'll put this one aside, let it dry, and see what happens with the crackle part of it. But look how fabulous this looks. Isn't that cool? I love it. These are going to be great for our junk journals, girls. Now, the other thing is, when this dries, it will buckle a little bit because we're using the Eileen's Tacky, which is a wet glue. So what I do is I just take like 2 or 3 heavy books and lay these down overnight with heavy books, and they come out nice and flat, just like these. Like, these are nice and flat. All right, so let's look at this little cutie. Let's put her aside somewhere. All right, I found a place. Let's do another one. Next we will do her. No, let's do these little girls. It doesn't matter, I'm gonna do them all, but like all those ones you saw, I'm gonna do all of them this afternoon. Well, it's in this afternoon and tomorrow. Okay, precious little babies. Okay, so we have this, and now this one is a true 4x6. So I have a 5x7 piece of cardstock. This one coffee dyed, see, and it works out perfect. All right. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to distress with our distressor, this or the like a steak knife, whichever one you want to do. I also have a Tim Holtz one, which I had forever. I don't know what the heck I did with it. I'm famous for organizing myself into a mess. I put it somewhere to organize, and of course I can't find it. I'll find it someday. When I'm not looking for it, I'll find it. So Stampin' Up sells them, and then it's a distress tool. Tim Holtz has one, and there's other brands I'm sure too. So if you're looking for this, just look for distress tool. You might have to buy them online. I haven't seen distress tools at the craft store in a long time. So I hadn't seen anybody using a distress tool until for a long time, for years, on videos. I haven't seen people distressing, and then finally I saw a girl the other day using her distress tool. I'm like, yes. Okay, so now we want to ink these. So let's ink. Ink everything. I got a lot of fun videos coming up, quick and easy things for our junk journals, you guys, over the next few days. So be looking for those videos. Okay, and then let's do it to the picture too. This picture is already pretty dark. So it's probably not going to show as much as others to age it, but it already looks old. So we're good. All right, so now we need to glue this on here. Let me make sure I did all my steps. Yeah, okay. Let me bring back into the whole thing my magazine back into the whole thing. Okay, and then my Eileen's tacky, I like to store it upside down because it's so thick, it's ready to go. It's like prepped if you store it upside down. And I think that the best place to get your Eileen's tacky is Dollar Tree. Cheaper than anywhere else, as far as I know. Okay. Okay, and there we go. Put that to the side for now. Bring this back in. And again, just I always wanted to make these cabinet cards. I always seen people collecting cabinet cards, like from thrift stores or flea markets, and I thought, you should make them. And so I looked at my, what is exactly a cabinet card? So I looked it up, and it's just a picture, and I think it was maybe like more paperweight, and they needed to back it on, a long time ago, that's how they used to do the pictures, and they had to back it on a piece of cardboard or like cardstock. And I'm like, oh, all right. And then the size was around a 5x7, 4x6, somewhere in there. And then I looked a bunch of them up just to see kind of how they look, and so that's where I got the idea of this. Okay, so I have one of the Paris, France right here, but I don't have any more cut up. Any more Belle's Photography, so let me just get that out and we'll cut some out. And you know what I like to use? I do like to use my cutter, my slicer for this. Where is my slicer? There it is. because then it gets it, I can get it nice. I can get these nice and straight. Let me put this to the side for a second. So let me slice this off the top first so it's nice and straight. There we go. This is definitely a tool that's worth getting, a paper slicer, for sure. I would try to get it at like Joann's or Michael's and use a coupon so you can get it for a pretty good price. If they're probably around 20 bucks, I think. I haven't bought one for so long. This one is a Fiskars. So, and I'm going to cut up a few of these. So hopefully with the coupon you can get it for around $12, $13, something like that. There we go. There we go. And while we're got the cutter out, let's just go ahead and cut some more of the let's cut some more of the Paris, France. Bell & Company, where's the Paris, France ones? Just a second, I'm looking for what's the rest of these? Oh, there it is. All right, so let's do cut some more Paris, France ones. And then you can if you make these up, then you have these for other things too. That you can use them as little labels for lots of different things in your junk journaling. I sell these. I don't sell these exact ones, but I sell ones with little quotes on them in my Etsy shop. I should put these in my Etsy shop because sometimes it's just sell them for like $1 a page. Because sometimes it's nice not to have to make stuff up yourself. You just want to just get it and go. So, you know what? In the next couple of days, these will be in the Etsy shop because I have some other ones too that I thought were in my Etsy shop. They say Button and Company, Paris Type of Girl, Paris Style, all these really cool sayings like that. And I thought that I had them in the Etsy shop. They're different quotes that I have in it. So I'll just add this to those quotes, those quote sheets. So look for it in the next few days if you want these. I will get them in the Etsy shop. But if you want to make them up yourself, I just told you how to do it. You can make them up yourself too. It's really easy. Just get yourself a nice, go to your, just look wherever you're going to write a letter. Go there. Pick out a nice fancy font like this. And then as far as font size, I think it was a 16. This is what you're looking for. So you can experiment around that. At least you know around where to start. But I think it was a 16 as far as the font size. Okay. So let's bring this one back. And see how it's curling up like that? And as it does it, I just kind of bend it back so it flattens out. And then once these dry overnight, I'll put a book on them and just make sure they're nice and flat. Okay, so again, we need Paris, France, and that'll go here, and Bell Photo Company. Okay, we'll put that right here. I'm just looking at this because I could have cut these a little less fat. No, that looks good. We'll leave it. Okay, so let's now we'll go over to the side over here. Can you guys see that over here? Yeah. And let's colorize. And I'm not going to mix both. I'm just going to choose one or the other. I'm going to use tea dye on both. Tea dye is becoming one of my favorites to use first, and then go in with some darker stuff like a vintage photo or again the antique linen. Mix them together. But I love the tea dye. Doesn't that look like tea dye? I mean, it looks like it's just perfectly aged. I love it. All right. Let's take our dark brown and go around the edges. And these are fun. This is so simple and easy, you guys. It's just like, you know, something fun for an afternoon or a morning that, you know, you're like, I want to do a little junk journaling, but I don't want to really, you don't want to get into anything heavy. And I've been doing projects that take a little bit, they're not hard, they just take a little more time. So the next few projects are just going to be quick, easy ones, but really cool. And I think this is one of those ones that's quick and easy, but really cool. Trying to find a place to put these little tags. I don't want them to, little labels to go anywhere. Okay, let me get out my glue, my magazine again for my glue spot. Okay. Put this over in this corner. And then we'll take this one. When I saw a lot of the cabinet cards, it looked like the information I'm putting on here was printed on the bottom of the card. But, you know, I don't have a way of printing these cards. So these little labels that we make, I thought would be a good alternative. I think I did even see some that looked like they had labels. I'm not sure. But this is the way I decided to do it. And now I'm not going to put that crackle paste. I'm going to put this back up. I'm not going to put that crackle paste on this one because that's an experiment. I want to first see how that's going to work out before we crackle paste any of the other ones. Look how cool. Don't they just look adorable? Looks like an old vintage cabinet card. I love it. You know what? I have something up here on the top, so I don't want to hide that. Some information about the... So, you know what? Whatever's left on here, we're going to use that. Whatever's left on here, we're going to use this. There's just enough on here. And then let's just... You know what else I have? Sometimes I use this. Just an old piece, just one of your extra book pages is also a good glue surface. Especially for a glue stick, because it dries really quick. See how much glue I'm putting on? A lot. So I'm going to put that up here in the corner. Just as Paris, France. There we go. It said .org on it or something. It was something from wherever I got this from. Anyway, so I just wanted, and that looks good. It makes this look even more. I love it. Looks very vintagey. Fabulous. Love it. Let's look at the one that I put the crackle paste on. See how that's doing. Let me see if I can see any crackling yet. No, I don't see any crackling yet. But hopefully we see some crackling on that. Okay, we'll let that keep drying while we make some more of these. We'll do 2 more together. So let's do her. And then after that we will do her. Okay? Okay. And I already had these coffee dyed 5x7s already cut, because this is a 4x6, so 5x7 is an inch long width and top. So that's going to be perfect. So let's now distress. What is all this? I don't even know what the rest of this stuff is on this. I don't even know how to open it. There's all these other things. I don't even know what they are. Doesn't it just come out? I don't know. Anyway, I got this distressing tool, Stampin' Up! Distressing tool at, I think it was a crafty. I once used to go to a lot of like crafty garage sales when I first started crafting, and I think that's where I got this. I got Stampin' Up! A bunch of really cool Stampin' Up! Stamps. I also want to, this is like when I very first started crafting. I've been probably crafted now 10, 12 years, like consistently. I've crafted my whole life, but consistently. There was a craft store here. This is like, God, how long ago? 8, 9 years ago. That was going out of business. And we went to that, and oh my God, I got so much good stuff. I might have got these from there. It was sad because it was a craft store, and she built it. She bought a house and then turned that house into a craft store. It was really cool. Really sad that it went out of business. But that's a lot. We only have a couple of craft stores here in Las Vegas now. I think everywhere, a lot of the craft stores went out of business. In the late 90s, early 2000s, or just in the 90s, or yeah, the 90s period, craft stores were popping up like crazy. And then 10 years ago, they just started going, at least here in Las Vegas. And I've heard everywhere that a lot of craft stores went out of business. Okay, which is an absolute shame. Okay. Let's go ahead and ink this up. Okay, so we're just going to ink all this up. Okay. All right, what side do we want to use? We'll use the darker side. I think this girl is just so beautiful. Look how gorgeous she is. All right, we're going to glue that on. So put that aside, move that out of the way. Get my magazine back out. Did I? No, let's just turn the page and get a fresh page. And you can use a glue stick on this, but like I said, you're doing cardstock to cardstock. So a lot of times when you're doing cardstock to cardstock or just doing cardstock to anything, you kind of need a heavier glue. But you do what you think. Okay. Again, line it up in the middle, evenly around all the sides. All right. Just a second, just keeping this baby wipe and actually a paper towel too. There we go. Oh, did I forget? Oh my God, I knew there was something I forgot. You guys, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do the cracking on this. I knew there was something I forgot. Oh well. So this one we're not going to do the crackling on it. But this, oh, and I didn't do it on this one either. Oh my gosh. All right, we'll do it on the next one. Well, now you're going to see. Now you're going to see what it looks like if you go ahead and make it look crackled. Like the picture is old and cracked, and you're going to see if it doesn't. I knew there was a step I was forgetting. I know some of you guys are like, you're forgetting steps. So we did two. Well, you got a lot of different ideas. You got one with the crackle paste. We're going to see how that's going to work. Now you got two. We're not crackle pasting or cracking it. So we'll see how it works out. Okay. Now let's do our Paris & Company. I can't believe I just did that. After all that I was explaining, and then I didn't even do it. What the heck? It happens. We mess up. All right, so let's see if we can just use what's left on here. There's enough left on here. Yeah, there is. Perfect. Let's see if there's enough left on here just to go around the edges, and there is. Perfect. And let's do this one too. All right, perfect. Let's get our little piece of paper out. My fingers. Have your fingers ever started cramping up? I just started feeling cramps in my fingers. I think it's because we do so much stuff with our hands. Sometimes. All right, until I can get to this. Put my brush back in here. All right. And then let's do the Paris, France. Okay. Okay. Bend it a little bit because they're starting to curl a little. And I love it. How nice and aged it looks. Love it. You could also corner chomp if you want to on these too. I'm not going to corner chomp. I haven't seen a whole... They looked really square to me. They didn't look like they were corner chomp. So we're going to leave it. Okay, so there's that one. Let's look at this one. Just see about the crackling. Yeah, I'm not seeing any crackling yet. Okay, now this one here, we are going to, what is the size of this picture? This picture looks a little bit smaller. You might want to cut this down. This is 4 by, oh, it's 4 by 5. So we could chop this down like an inch. So let's take an inch off of here. Most of the pictures I try to do 4 by 6, but it depends. Sometimes when you print them out, it doesn't work out like that. So save these. I have a little project to do with these. In fact, I have a whole little, isn't this cute? Dollar Tree. A whole little thing of these, especially the coffee dyed ones right in here. So save those. I'll be doing a video with those. See? Perfect. And then this fits on here a lot better. Okay. This one looks a little bit weird shaped like this because it looks like it's too square. Oh, who cares? It'll be good. It'll be good in the end. Okay. So this one we're going to crinkle it up and do the like the cracking of the picture on it. Okay, let's do that to this one too. Okay, and then let's do the inking all over it. It's just hilarious. I just knew there was a step that I was skipping. I'm like, what am I skipping? My hand is cramping. I'm like, what? I'm skipping something. And I was. Oh, my hands. I gotta take this ring off even. I've been knitting a lot and I've been crafting a lot. And so sometimes when you're doing stuff with your hands, they get tired. I'm trying to decide if I want to cut this down a little bit more, just so it doesn't look so square. And I got plenty of room. You know, I'm going to cut this down just a tad bit. How square this is just bugging me. Because this is not square, it's more rectangular, but this just looks square. And we don't need to take off that much. Just a little bit. Let me just see how this is going to look now. Yeah, that looks better. Looks so much better. Okay. So again, we're going to have to redo the distressing. And then we do this. There we go. And now that's going to look a lot better. Cool. Now, we want to do the aging process on him, and it kind of crackled and yada 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 yada. I can't believe I didn't do that to my other two. I'm sure there's people going, hello. You are skipping steps, girl. You are skipping steps. Okay, let's open it up and kind of look and see where we're at. Look at that V I put in there. All right, so I'm gonna do some more stuff here. Okay, and then you go like that. And then go like this. There we go. That looks good. Oh, I got some ink right on her nose. I didn't want to do that. Remember I said I want to avoid the face? Look. I'm sure I can't get it off. Can I? It's still wet enough. Nope, I can't. All right, well, it's just gonna, well, I got some of it off. Good. It'll just add to the age of the picture. But I got some of it off. Okay. And actually, you know what? This turned out even cooler than I thought. Okay, here's another technique. Take your wet baby wipe and start rubbing on the picture. Look how old the picture looks now. That's cool. And now the picture looks even more old because her face is a little bit disheveled now because I wiped the picture. So I've wiped off some of her face. So it looks even more old. That's cool. Okay. Remember I said there's not too much wrong you can do with these things because you're trying to make these things look old, right? Okay. Even though I would have rather seen her pretty face, all perfect, but it does add to the age of the picture. All right, so now let's glue this. So that's another technique. If you want to age a picture, take a wet baby wipe or a wet paper towel and kind of rub in spots, and you'll start rubbing off some of the picture and make it look even more old. And I printed off 2 of hers, so I can do another one. So I can do one where you know, where you can see how pretty she is still. And the picture doesn't look as dilapidated, but this one is going to look more dilapidated. More aged, more vintage, more grunge. Okay. Okay. Got a little glue right there. I can't believe how cool this looks. It just looks so much older. The picture does. Look. Does not look just like so old. Like it got a little bit of water damage. It's really old. Love it. Okay. So now let's come over here and do Belle's Photo Company. I'm going to trim this down a little bit. Oh, I think that'll work. I need to trim it a little bit at the bottom. Let's see if that's straight enough. Yep, that looks good. Yeah, I'm going to like that. And then Paris Finds. All right, so let's age these out. See what's left on this brush still. There's enough left. Yay. Yeah, we're running out. Let's get the tea dyed out. Oh! My whole camera could have just fallen. Okay, see how it's shaking? I have like this weight on it that makes sure this doesn't fall over. So yeah, it's on a stand. It's on a phone stand thing that you buy. But when you bring the arm all the way out to like where I have it, it makes the camera want to fall over. So I put a little weight on there. I got my phone holder, I don't know what you call it, phone stand with an arm that comes over your work, and I got it from Temu for only like $12, $13. I want to order another one because I absolutely love it. What happens though is there's a thing where you open it up like this and it has like a slingshot type of thing in it, and you put your phone in there, but you open it up so many times, like after a couple of years, it breaks. So Okay. Grab another sheet of paper and we will glue this down. There it is. And I did print my little labels right here on cardstock. And I know I'm doing cardstock on cardstock and I'm not using the Eileen's Tacky, but there's such small little pieces that were usually just fine. How much time we've been on here for? An hour. Okay, we're good. So we'll end it here today. An hour is usually good. And let's bend this. Look how old this one looks. How cool is that? It looks so old. Like this has been in grandma's attic forever. That her face has even gotten a little bit distorted. The picture looks so old. I love it. So what did we do today? We did this one. Okay, we did this little girl here, which I just love her. And I wanted to see how this crackle was going to turn out. And you know what? Let me, I'm going to pause this really quick and just hit it with the hot glue gun, my heating tool, and see if I can't get this to crackle. So we got that one. Let me just show you all the ones we did, just to remind you. And we did this one. And remember I said if they buckle a little bit because of the Eileen's Tacky, after they dry completely, just put a book on them overnight and they'll flatten out perfect. And the other two little precious babies. Okay, so let me put these aside. I'm going to pause you guys. I'm going to use my heat tool on this and see if I can't get this to crackle. So we'll see what happens, okay? It may work to crackle with the heat tool. Sometimes some crackle paste or crackle mediums need just time. And it doesn't work good with the heat gun, but we're going to find out. Okay, you guys, I used my hot tool and I dried it and it didn't crackle yet. There's a sheen on it. So we'll just give it time, okay? Because I think I remember Tim Holtz was using this and I think he said not to use the hot tool. It needed the time to do the cracks. So it probably just needs time. And if it doesn't crackle, I'll put a second coat on it and try to crackle it. So, but we got it looking aged anyway. Okay, the other thing I want to show you after I did that, I went ahead and made remember I told you I printed off two of these. So we have two. So we have one where her face is really like beat up looking, like water got damaged to it, which is just cool. And then I did one where we kept her face real pretty. So we have two of hers already. So just wanted to show you guys that. So we did all of these. Let me lay out all the ones we did. If we can fit them all. This is what we did today, which I already did, but just to kind of see how much we have done here. And then on top of that, remember I did these two off camera. And I did these ones off camera. We'll just do it like that. So we have a lot of cabinet cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yay! So you guys, let me know if you're going to make some of these cabinet cards. We have a YouTube channel. It's called Our Magical Little Place. If you make these, come join the group. Show us what you made. Show us your cabinet cards. But if you don't, if you art journal, junk journal, knit, crochet, it doesn't matter. Be inspired, get inspired, inspire others. If you have an Etsy shop, if you have a YouTube channel, you can leave links. Yeah, so come join the group. If you haven't subscribed, I would love for you to do so. If you can give this video a thumbs up. Any comments or questions, leave them below. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to let you guys know about these. Okay, you guys, that's it. Remember, guys, we have more in common than we do not. And together, we're stronger. All right, you guys. Talk to you guys next video. Bye, guys.